Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for your mercy and grace. We thank you for this great nation we live in. Help us to do your business and do our city business together tonight, thinking about you and what you provided for us in this great nation. We love you and we thank you. And we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. In your package, you had the minutes of our last meeting from 5/18/2021.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, committee reports. Chamber.
Good evening. We have no financial requests from community organizations this month. I'll expect to present some next month because we know September is our biggest event month with different festivals. So I would expect them to start turning in some applications for us to review, but there's none right now. We just finished up May, which turned out to be our largest advertising month since 2016. Remember, we had several months, or years actually, that we had one vendor who was not paying tax appropriately, so we could not spend those dollars. But for more than a year, they have paid on time and paid well, so we've been able to use those. We've used our cooperative dollars with the state of Missouri, and we pumped out hundreds of ads to draw visitors to the Show Me State Barbecue Cook-Off and 100-mile yard sale. We used magazine, newspaper, billboard, radio, and social media for both events, and we estimate we reached 1.6 million viewers through one sort or another of those advertisements. The Kennett JCs reported their largest event ever, times double, and I don't have official numbers, but it looked like the 100-mile yard sale was wildly successful to me, and anyone who traveled 25. This summer will be much quieter, but we're gearing up to start advertising for September, which is always our largest month, with Delta Fair, Kennett Cruisers Car Show already scheduled, the 3D Bash is already scheduled, and so we'll look forward to doing that. The other thing I have is, we all know that tragedy struck us 2 weeks ago with the loss of Mr. Keith Mitchell. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here because I'm talking to the public on behalf of Kennett Rotary Club, which I'm not a member of, but I think they'd be okay with me bringing this up. Part of Mr. Keith Mitchell's many philanthropic interests was our city's fireworks, which you all know. For many years, he has personally made sure that we would have the fireworks, and if not for him, we would not have had a fireworks show for probably 10 or plus years. Fireworks were important to Keith, and Keith was important to all of us. So Kennett Rotary Club would like to have a fundraising effort to continue the fireworks in honor of Keith. One anonymous donor has stepped up to the plate and made a generous contribution, but we are also asking for help from other civic clubs, businesses, or individuals who would also like to make a contribution to the fireworks show in honor of Keith. Anyone who'd like to contribute can send the donations to City Hall or Kennett Rotary Club or even the Chamber of Commerce. Make sure that you note that your donation is for the fireworks, and we'll make sure that those get earmarked for that show. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Finance.
I don't have anything other than we have a finance meeting scheduled for June the 10th, 5:30, and we will work on the next year's budget.
Okay. Fire.
Got one thing tonight. It was reference to our call volume for the month of May. For the total month of May, last year at this time we ran 88 calls. This year we ran 298. And of the 298, 200 were EMS calls excluding motor vehicle accidents. So again, I preach it every week or every other week, but continued instabilities, mental instabilities, drug overdoses, it's continuing to be up there in high numbers. That's all I've got for you this evening.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. All right. Human resources.
Wanted to remind department heads that all employees, part-time or full-time, required drug testing according to the city manual. And so it doesn't make any difference, part-time, full-time, they gotta have it. Also, we need to rebid our cleaning contract. We had the group that we had given the contract to has decided they wanted to raise it by $300 a month. And so we need to rebid that. And then I have a question for Terry along that line. We have 2 employees within the city that are combined to want to put in a bid for cleaning. Are they allowed to do that?
If they're bidding as an independent contractor,
So we won't have to worry about overtime or
if
anything?
they're not
like that?
working for the city, they'll be hired by that city as an independent contractor.
Okay, very good. So so those are the 2 things I need.
Okay.
3. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Humane.
The Humane Department's been extremely busy, and speaking of Mr. Mitchell, we took in tons of donations, monetary, and right at about 5,500 pounds of dog food that was donated in his memory. Also, last week, I believe it was, Paul responded to help Cornersville with a call for a dog that was stuck in a pipe, and they managed to get the pipe cut and get it up to Dr. Mobley, and all of us kind of working on the dog and the pipe. After, 5 hours, we were able to free the dog. And the dog is in the Humane Department, and Paul is going to adopt a dog now named Piper. The whole reason for the story is we made Newsweek. So,
Story.
yeah, it went viral. So we got it out there, our name's out there, and we've been getting donations to help take care of it. We had several that had to have legs amputated, cat or dog, and all of us paid for it through donations. So
Good.
we're rolling on pretty good. Anybody have any questions?
So when does Piper become Piper Spain or
Thursday.
Thursday?
Do you have a copy of the Newsweek magazine?
I don't have it, but I did a live interview, like over the phone, so.
Good.
It was online. Was it in the print version of Newsweek? I know it
She
was on
said
there
it was gonna
online.
be in the print. Well, we did several of different magazines for pets, and we had a whole list of them. They were calling me and calling him.
Okay.
Good score. Good, yeah.
Yep. All right, police.
I don't have anything for the public at this time.
Okay. Street?
Yeah, we're working on the Right Acres, follow up on that to get those people to come into the city. And Keith will tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. And then the tractor that we purchased is working well, so we're happy with that. Right down at the compost. Keith, you wanna go to the rest?
Mayor, council members, we don't have much more, just like Bill was saying, I've had one person contact me that does want to annex into the city. I contacted Brenda, and we're gonna get some information together for them. I told them to send a letter back addressed to the city saying they wanted to be annexed in, and we would get them whatever information they needed to do that. Had a couple other people call with questions, wanted to know different things about annexing in. I told them, gave them that information. They said they'd get with their spouses and talk to them and get back with us. The only other thing for the street department is Robertson Asphalt has been in town. They got in late last week and started milling. If the weather will get agreeable, we'll start overlaying as soon as it stops raining and dries up a little bit. So hopefully it's supposed to rain a lot next week, but hopefully in the next week or two we'll start getting some asphalt roads laid. That's all we got for the street department. Shall I have any questions?
What do we do with the other tractor that was at the compost?
We traded it in. We got $15,000 trade in on it, I think.
Okay.
Storm?
The vac truck's still working hard. We're about close to getting that blockage that, on the big long strip that's been giving us trouble. Close to getting that taken care of. This nights like tonight are a pretty good test for the stormwater system, and it doesn't help too much that we're as flat as a pancake in this town either. So anything, even a stick, is gonna clog a drain on us if it has a chance, so. And then you wanna tell them about the airport pond?
We've started work out there, and we've started digging the ditch from the pond to the pipe that goes under the taxiway. And, started raining, so, until it dries up a little bit, we may not be back out there for a few days.
I flew over it today, I couldn't tell you it was full, I couldn't see.
Yeah,
Far out.
that's kind of a slough anyway, so it takes a little while after that dries up to get it where we can get back in there with a road grader, so. But we're working on, hopefully, well, 2 or 3 weeks, it'll probably be so hot we'll be wanting rain, but, we're getting it headed that way. Bill was talking about the pipe over on Vanderbilt. They've gone another 180 feet from where we were the last time I talked to you, and got out a lot of roots. Got out a root almost as long as that table y'all was at right there, one root, and a lot of mud. We're hoping about 200 more feet we should get to where we were on the other side, and I've got people coming Friday to look at the pipe to give us the estimate on lining it when we get it cleaned out, so hopefully we'll have that done, something with it. Y'all have any questions? That's all I've got. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then. Industrial for right now? Don't have anything? All right, we don't have anything under unfinished business. Under new business, we keep getting phone calls, and we've discussed it in the past about parties out at the parks, and do we need a permit for them? I brought it up with the Parks Department, and they wanted to refer it back to us of, you know, should a party of 10, 15, 20, 25 be required to have a permit to be out there, to give our police officers notification that, hey, you know, we're having a party out here on such and such date, so we know to, you know, maybe possibly make a few extra passes through there that day, or that our Parks Department needs to know that, hey, you know, we got 2 different parties going on out here at this one, so the dumpsters and trash cans are gonna be extra full. You know, just, is this something that the council wants to look at, go forward through? And, you know, what requirements do we wanna look at? So that's just thrown out there as a question, open-ended question.
If we did that, would this be possible for this to be a way to reserve the pavilion or whatever as well? That's a.
I would think so, that if you,
One,
come up and pay what do we get for a yard sale, or a permit, $5? So if you come up and pay a small permit fee, then you could reserve pavilion, you know, A, B, C, or D, at whatever park for this date, and a little signage could go up and reserve.
I think that would be.
I have seen in the past where, when I look down into town, someone on a holiday be sitting there 6 o'clock in the morning, and if you talk to them, or you knew where they lived, it wasn't in the city of Kennett, and so they're taking a city park that citizens of Kennett couldn't stop and use. So I think by reserving it, it would allow somebody that's gonna have a family get-together or something to be able to say, pavilions. Most other cities, I know that they do that.
So it just,
Could we charge more?
I don't know, that's, could we charge more than $5 for, I mean, it's all.
What do you charge, what the reasonable price is for you to have, for you to be conducting reservations?
Okay.
It's not gonna be money.
Yeah.
We cover all the expenses.
As-
So that's what you can do without a vote of people.
Okay, all right. And, so, I guess the question would be, at what size of an event would you, well, I guess for any pavilion reservation, you need a permit. And so what other questions, concerns do we need to address for a permit to, if you're gonna have a gathering party?
Like you said, the size of the event, because that's gonna impact the trash pickup and things like that, so.
We'll probably also have to have a hold harmless agreement with the party between them and the city.
Well, yeah, they would
That
have
would be part of
to,
it.
they would have to have and we should require that now if anybody uses the park, any group. We do that now, and actually make, and if it's an organized group, make them carry insurance.
We do that with the soccer and such as that, right? But
Sure.
this, since it's not an organized group, they would just sign the whole harmless.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's a,
We got a minimum age. Minimum age to reserve it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, okay. So minimum age of 18, 21, 25?
If there's alcohol. But they're not
Yeah,
supposed
we
to.
can't be alcohol.
You can't be
Can't be
alcohol,
alcohol.
right, so
Can't
they
have
should-
alcohol.
so we should be able to do 18 at that probably.
Yeah.
You could probably have that statement on that permit, when
No
they
alcohol.
sign it, they agree there's no alcohol
Yeah.
by signing it.
It's not already allowed in city parks anyways.
You can't have,
Yeah.
you can't have alcohol.
We've already got an ordinance against that.
Yeah.
Not supposed to have vehicles in the park either, but there was 6 of them out there the other day.
Yeah.
One of them had a trailer hooked to it.
Several, I mean, it's, I know what the one pastor had asked, it's like, well, can I drive my trailer out to there, unload it, and then park it in another spot? So I said, I don't see a problem with that, because it's not gonna stay there and be parked there. But, because, some of those pavilions it's a little ways to take your sound system, or especially for him having church there on Sunday.
We kinda had a heads up how many people were gonna be in the park, that helped me on staffing for that particular day.
Okay. So these are all questions I guess we'll address and try and bring up something between now and the next city council meeting.
Let's see what I can.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate it.
Good.
Any other new business? Oh, yes. Okay, the finance committee meeting, or, there was a finance meeting the other night, and, we've been looking at, different insurance companies. And, we've gotten one bid in from a, Kirk Humphreys, out of Poplar Bluff. And looking at their bid of moving to an Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield versus United Healthcare. The premiums will be the same or less of what we're paying now instead of the price increase for what looks like to be a better coverage for the same or less money.
Is that for city and city-wide gas and water?
Yes.
Yes, they are interested in
They're in
that.
with it, okay, great.
But, while I was out last week, I know Brenda talked with Crystal over there, and everyone seems to be in agreement, but they were wanting for us, and I know Brenda sent that out earlier this afternoon, but it's dental, vision, and health. And then they also, Kirk is working on, the Aflac, but then they also offer American Fidelity, which is very similar to Aflac, that costs a little less and offers a little more. So, so that's what,
Did we get the other bid from our local agent?
as of 6:30 today, we still haven't gotten anything.
When's our drop dead date, Vic, vote on this, to be able to get it going? Because in that meeting, I understood it and wait too long, it's gonna be a balled up effect, getting everybody.
Right.
It's pretty much as tonight, because if we wait till the next one, we will only give the providers 1 week to get our employees changed over. Because July 1st will be, is our date. And, getting, things switched over from United Healthcare to Blue Cross Blue Shield, that, Sea Light Gas and Water asked if we could vote on that tonight, cause they can vote on it next Tuesday. That would give everybody 3 weeks to do a changeover instead of 7 days. And, I know the, Finance Committee met and looked at the, proposals last week and liked the one from Kurt Humphreys and, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And so is that coming from them as a motion?
I just agreed with it.
Okay. So that comes from the, committee last week, to, going with the Kurt Humphreys and the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so that's in the form of a motion. Right? Okay.
Yes, we had that formal
Okay.
motion.
In the form of a motion, we need a second? Okay, we have a second?
Discussion anyway, now.
Yeah, and, do we have any other discussion on that?
So that's the,
Less money, less cost, but the employees get more benefits, right?
Yes, it is, whenever they explained it to me, and that's the way I take it, is better coverage for the same or less money.
What was the projected? The projected was what, around 65,000?
Yeah, they
Difference
say,
between the two. That's what, and, you know, I've said it before, it's, when you look at budgets, and I looked at just using the police the other night, and that would save enough money to pay for the average of 4 of the part-time officers that are helping to take up some of the slack being short on the full-time.
or 2 police cars.
2 police cars.
Or
I mean,
some
it's not
extra
anything
air
to
packs.
throw.
I don't get any big ideas.
Yeah,
Okay,
I wasn't adjusting 65,000, are we comparing what we pay now or between the 2 bids that we already have in place?
compared to
What we
the,
pay now?
what our projected increase was gonna be, the projected increase was gonna be 9.9%.
Okay.
And, the, 2 bids that we received that came in, were, very, very identical to each other. And so if you compared what our increase was going to be versus what, the, Anthem bid was, there was $65,000 savings.
Yeah, currently it was gonna go up to about $800 for the premium.
Per person.
And this kept it around the 670-ish mark.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, go ahead and, we got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, insurance, take care of. Anything else on new business? Okay, mayor's report. Since our last meeting, hopefully everyone's seeing the newspaper from the chamber to KFBS 12 and everything else. Delta Peanut is here. It was nice that,